Hello, welcome to this update for the severe weather. Let's just update on the storms. It's basically the same outlook, they only changed a few things. So the slight risk has gone further south into Oklahoma too, all the way into Minnesota, and the marginal risk around it. The tornado threat is still 5% around Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin. The wind is 15 and 5%, and the hail is hatched for potential uh, 2-inch plus in diameter, 10% probability. So be aware, some very big hail possible, and 15 and 5% too. So be aware there. So they say scarce severe thunderstorms are possible this afternoon and evening across much of central eastern Minnesota, Iowa, western Wisconsin. A couple of tornadoes, large hail and damaging gusts may occur in this region. Further south, an area of locally severe wind gusts and hail also develop parts of eastern Kansas, southwestern Missouri, and northeastern Oklahoma. So be aware there for today. For tomorrow, there's still two marginal risks, one in Oklahoma and Kansas, another one in Indiana, Michigan, and parts of Illinois. So tornado threat is less than 2% tomorrow. Wind is 5% and hail 5% as well. So be aware for Friday tomorrow. Isolated strong to severe storms are possible late afternoon Friday in parts of Illinois, Indiana, southwest lower Michigan. Isolated strong to severe storms possible across parts of south central plains. So be aware for Friday tomorrow. Saturday, they just have a marginal risk there in New Mexico, Texas, and Colorado, and Oklahoma, but they don't have anything for like Kansas and Nebraska, although all the models are showing something big there in the central plains. But I guess the information changed a little, so we will take a look. As to severe thunderstorms possible Saturday afternoon to early evening, parts of southern high plains. So be aware there. Day 4 through 8, nothing. Fire, nothing for now. So let's see. The HER shows like the storms today starting in Iowa, Minnesota, some stronger severe storms in Iowa there, and southeastern Minnesota especially shows there in southeastern Minnesota going towards Wisconsin. So, and especially later this evening in Iowa and Missouri, storm or two in Missouri, and that line might develop in Iowa, continuing through Illinois and some rain out areas. But be careful, those storms will be severe there. The potential of few tornadoes in Minnesota, northern Iowa, and Wisconsin there. And for Canada, we have a big area of some potential severe storms, parts of Manitoba and Ontario, and some isolated funnel cloud or two possible, and some more storms in Alberta too. So let's see, for Ontario they have a very big area like in orange there, so there will be like a high probability of strong to severe storms, like high there. They have, that's area A, so 90 kilometers per hour gusts, some large hail, and a few tornadoes there in Ontario. So please be careful there. And then there's the other areas there, some storms too. In Quebec, nothing crazy, just a storm or two there. Atlantic Canada is quiet, Northwestern Territory is nothing, and British Columbia is quiet. So the main focus is in Ontario there. As you can see on the HER here, it does show there those storms starting Manitoba and then going towards northwestern Ontario. That's just like western Ontario because the south is there and the west is there. So like in western Ontario shows a powerful line of storms there, and they will likely be severe, some damaging winds and hail especially, and maybe a tornado or two as well. So be careful there in Western Ontario and Manitoba. And then we might have some stuff tomorrow. And let's see the 12Z to see further into tomorrow. So it shows like that it had even more aggressive line there in Ontario and Manitoba, and the storm is in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, and then it continued there. And then into tomorrow, Friday shows some showers in New Mexico, storm or two there, around Kansas, Oklahoma, and start showing more storms in Saskatchewan there with another system, but it mainly comes down there, this system. So the main day is today there. So let's see here for today because the slight wind extends all the way down to Oklahoma. So it shows some storms in northern Oklahoma and Kansas, but nothing crazy. But just be aware there might be a severe storm or two. And the models, the significant tornado parameters, is already showing some higher values in parts of Minnesota, Ontario, and Manitoba, all the way down to Iowa. So, but later today, let's see. This like early this afternoon shows some higher parameters in Ontario and Minnesota and some in Iowa there. But let's see, further out it keeps those higher values in Ontario there, so really should watch there for the tornado potential, and down through Iowa later this evening. Central Iowa showing more, and then kind of diminishes there in Ontario, but still some higher parameters. Minnesota too, and other areas. So because this is already like, yes, this is already Friday almost, but still shows like tonight some small values there. So be aware and be careful in all of those areas, especially as they mentioned here in the 5% there in Wisconsin, in Minnesota and Iowa. This is the greatest threat. So please stay safe there, and in Ontario as well. So let's see. The rainfall shows today with those storms, tomorrow some more in the plains there in Florida, and Saturday most of the rainfall showing in Nebraska and Iowa and Kansas, but they only have a marginal risk for severe weather in New Mexico. So maybe all this rain won't have any severe weather in it, to just be like heavy rain. But all the indications are pointing towards the central plains and not the southern high plains. But does show some accumulation there as well. For Sunday, this system keeps going to the Midwest. Monday, still some rain there through the east. Tuesday, some more rain in the northwest and the southern plains and Florida. And next Thursday actually, some more rain throughout there. Day 1 through 7 shows a lot there in Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska, a lot southern Florida and other areas. So we'll keep watching. Excessive rain, marginal in California, marginal in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and southern Florida today. Be careful. Tomorrow, marginal in New Mexico, California, and Arizona, and Nevada. Saturday, a big marginal from Colorado to Iowa. Sunday, another marginal there. Monday, another marginal in the Midwest. So be aware. And snowfall is showing a moderate risk of snowfall in Colorado for Saturday, for day 3, like the models were showing there. So it's finally picking up here. So let's see. The temperatures are still very high there in the plains, like 98, 100 degrees in Texas and Oklahoma. So be careful today into tomorrow. Still that heat wave continues, 101 degrees there into like Saturday. Still some higher temperatures throughout there, and all the way to Florida, 2 parts of the Ohio Valley and the southwest, some higher temperatures. The minimum temperatures for Saturday, so like some 30s, even 20s in the mountains there. So still very cold in those areas. So be aware. And then later day 4, more 100 starting the southwest again, and still some 90s in the southeast there. And then we'll check the other days later. And then we have some wind advisories there in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Montana, and some winter advisories in California there, and even some flood watches. So I'll check the models in a second for the rainfall. Shows like some heat advisories southern Texas and other areas. So in terms of watches in Canada, we already have like some severe thunderstorm, probably tornado watches there, and some warnings there in Nunavut. So let's see here. So in Ontario, there's a tornado watches, like I mentioned. So let's see. Conditions are favorable developments. Severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes, strong winds and large hail, heavy rain. So tornado or 2, wind gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour, 20 size hail early this afternoon into this evening. So be careful. This is the dangerous situation in all of those areas in Ontario, Manitoba too, but mainly there. So be careful. And shows like still some rain and snow in parts of Western Canada. That bigger system like Friday, some more snow there in the west coast. Then Sunday shows this bigger system still with more heavy rainfall there. Next Monday, a bigger system still in the coast with snow and rain in a big portion of those areas. So be aware. Central Canada, the European model, has like the storms today in Ontario, the big line of storms there, the severe storms, more Manitoba, continuing in Ontario there. Then that other system Saturday, I showed you there, some more storms, some storms in Quebec and Ontario by next Monday. So we will keep watching. They for Eastern Canada shows that low pressure in the Atlantic might bring some snow to southern Nova Scotia, but it'll be moving out. Might bring some rough surf only and some large waves. Shows those storms there in Ontario. Maybe a storm or two Saturday. That system there into Hudson Bay about Sunday, and that front in Quebec there. Then we will have to watch for this system Monday coming north from the U.S. The European shows are coming to Ontario for a lot of storms into Quebec as well. So we'll have to watch that. So stay safe there from the storms and be aware. And let's maybe just see some like temperatures still warm, mild in parts of Ontario, 28 degrees. Not there is still very cold across the west there, so be aware. And let's see, wind gusts still windier in Nunavut because of that system. We probably have a wind warning there, and then shows windier in Nunavut again by Saturday because of another system. In Ontario, some gusty winds by Sunday because of that other system there, and the system coming from the US on Monday shows some gusty winds too, but nothing crazy. Remaining Quebec later. Then we have this system in Nunavut next Friday, the 27th. Then it shows another bigger system on the coast there next Friday, the 27th as well. So we'll keep monitoring everything and stay safe.